Hello and good morning, everybody. Good evening if you're on the other side of the world. My name is Bobby, and I am a channeler. So I will be doing a pick a channel message today live, and that means that you can pick from three, and I hold up four from three cards that I actually, these are actually my art, my own art. And then we will get into these messages. So what happens with me is that I can channel through messages just straight from my guides. My guides are the CYANIANS Pleiadians, who CYANIANS are part of the Pleiadians anyway, but in higher benevolence. And they came to me directly. So do the Pleiadians, actually. I've had a lot of where I've actually visually seen a lot of extraterrestrials throughout my life since I was little. And my mum had the gift to be able to see into other dimensions as well. So she shut it down, but I didn't. And so this is why I can channel now. If anyone wants to know a little bit more about me, there's a video link down below. So we are going to do pick a channel message, because I feel like then I can get into a little bit more detail with the channeling and just hone into the group that I'm pulling for. So we will pick three of these cards and then see where we go from there. I'm feeling it's really interesting, because usually I'm not so confused and stuff. It's like I'm trying to logically do something here. And this is relevant to the energy at the moment. And it's not working out. Like I was going to logically do this, had it all planned out in my head. And now that I'm live, it's not happening. And I think that there's a great message there for everybody to really start to let go of this logic, and that we have to do things specific ways for things to work out. And it's got something to do with the eclipses and being in between the eclipses at the moment. They're really hiding into the shadow that's forming over us, a feeling of being discombobulated. So just be aware of that as you're going through these next couple of weeks. It's because they're really wanting us to have this even flow of trusting our intuition a lot more than our logic when it comes to moving through our life and creating a new path, which has to be that way because it's within our right hemisphere, which is the intuitive, imaginative hemisphere, that actually creates and carves new paths, not the logic side. So we have to start to have more faith and trust in ourselves and what we're going to actually say. See, as soon as I start channeling, I'm actually a lot easier. Any case, these messages from this picker card is going to be either something to do with the artwork or not. It doesn't make any difference to me. I'm tapping into the energy, but sometimes the artwork might come into play. I'll also pick a crystal as well, and we'll go from there. So also don't forget, on Tuesdays now I do live channeling, straight up channeling. That's all it is. It's just channel messages straight from my guides. Okay, so we'll pick these cards very quickly. Let's see what happens. One wanted to pop out there. I'm going to grab that one. No way. And that one. Interesting. So we have one that was exactly the same as last week, and we've only done two. This is my second pick a channel message. Hey, Julie, good to see you in the chat bar. So we have this. The first one that's popped up is the whale, which was from last week, and I'm just seeing if I keep that one or not. Now they're saying don't keep that one, but there's a reason why it's popped out. Okay, I'm just going to go with this. I'm going to pick out a different one for the piles, but I just need to read this card at the moment. So there's this massive leap of faith and trusting who we are. it's almost like seeing the outside world is bigger than being hurt. But this person, this little kid, is riding this whale, and he's having a lot of fun doing it. It's like we're riding the massive waves of life. We're riding the shadow side. We're accepting more of what our mind wasn't allowing us to accept in the past. We're now embracing it and bringing it into our reality so that we can move forward. So there's new land to be had. For some reason, they're bringing up the land now, and there's new land I'm seeing a whale like slide in on the land, and then the boy coming off, and then they're like, wow, I didn't even know this existed. So there's something here within our minds that we didn't know has existed, that we're actually breaking free of now, to do with it being in between those two eclipses. Because when an eclipse happens, there's a spark that comes off it. When it actually the shadow leaves, all of a sudden there's a spark of life, which is so interesting, because that is the next video that I'm bringing out, all to do with, the spark of consciousness and the bigger picture. And we're going into the pineal gland, sonoluminescence. We're going into all sorts of different things in this next video, but that I'm creating. That's why it's taking so long. But interesting, they wanted to bring all this up before I even started the picker channel message. So okay, had to do that, because they said that's why you showed them that we don't show the cards straight up. So here we are. We're going to go with these three. So this is going to be number 1, and I won't even look, but I'll pick a crystal that goes with that. And we have a quartz crystal. So number 1 is quartz crystal. Just remember that. I'll put that aside. Oh, not allowed to look, right? Number 2 is a rhodonite crystal. So that's a rhodonite. I'll just show you the rhodonite. And number 3 crystal is, I think this is a jasper. So this is a jasper. Not great light here, but it's a pink and brown jasper. So we've got number 1. I don't even know if I said number 1 then. Number 1 is quartz crystal. Number 2, quartz crystal. Number 2, rhodonite. Number 3 is jasper. Okay, so if you choose now 1, 2, or 3, I'm going to put the timestamps down below once this live's all finished. Makes it a lot easier. So you can just flip into whatever one you want. You can choose all 3 if you want. You can choose 2. You can choose 1. It doesn't really matter. Whatever you feel a pull to. So let's get into number 1, which is the quartz crystal. And we'll see what image comes up with this. So we have the rose. I'm just going to feel into this vibration of this group and see what happens. So we have the rose. This is bringing me to grounding something physically on earth, and wanting to do this so badly. But there's these it's like you see a straight line towards what you want to do, but then there's these little annoyances or blockages, or something's not quite going quite right yet. And you're like, well, hang on a sec. I've been focusing on the end result, been doing everything that I wanted to do. There's like a blooming within yourself, and you're knowing it. You can feel it. There's something that you're starting to recognize within yourself that's shifting and changing. And then there's this impatience of, well, hang on, why not? Where's the manifestation? When's it actually going to actually happen? Is it going to happen? Do I have to change my path? Where am I actually going with this? That sort of feeling that they're telling me keep going the way you're going. Ignore what's happening on the outside world. Ignore it, because it's the outside world that seems to be louder in looking for the fact that you have shifted, rather than your inner world that's standing strong and supporting who you are and where you're going. And because the outside world is showing up as louder, this is what we've been programmed to do since we're kids. When we were kids, we were more to do with our feelings and our inner journey and how we felt around people, and we just was just oozing love and all that sort of stuff. And then we got programmed by education and stuff like that to only look outside ourselves for validation. And still, there's something here that you're looking outside yourself to be validated before it shows up, and it's never going to show up when you're looking outside yourself for the validation. They are asking you to validate your inner journey and your inner shift. Make it louder than Ben-Hur, louder than the observational point of seeing what's actually happening outside of you, because there's they're showing me like a vibration that's coming off you then, and it's vibrating so much that it will burst through, and it will make this happen. It's like there's no other way for it to go. This is my life. This is what I love. This is what I'm doing. This is exactly what I want to do. And it's like every time you get a block or a thorn or something that's on the road that's coming up, that's annoying you, annoyance, it doesn't show you something. It's just because there's a part of you that's still looking for the outside to show you your inner self first, and it cannot. It can only show you. Show up as the grasping feeling, where is it, that sort of thing. And so you're in a dark tunnel that's not actually moving anywhere, but they want you to center yourself and shine a light within, so that your light is so bright that you can see all paths before you. Then they're asking, they're saying to step into, what does your soul ask your soul, say to yourself, my soul comes from love. If my soul comes from love, and love knows the correct journey for me, then my soul will always direct me in the right place. And so then all of a sudden, when you move towards what love wants, what you want from your own spark of love, what your soul wants, all of a sudden the doubts of, should I go this way? Should I go that way? Or should I go ring up that person? Should I write this down? Whatever it is, should I go physically go visit that over there and go for that job, or whatever it is? It's like this fear subsides because you're moving through your life just through love. Well, this is what love wants. This is what my soul wants. This has got nothing to do with what my mind is tricking me into. Is this the right path? Is this the right way to go? So keep saying, I am love, I am soul, and my soul knows the right path. And so I'm going to just step into loving, into that feeling of love, and then trust that love feeling, and then move like that. And the reason why this lesson is happening at the moment is because it's going to give you a very solid foundation for all that comes in the next part of your journey, which is, going to be seemingly bigger, or quite big, compared to what you've achieved in the past. As in bringing your unique, authentic self through. So if you are following, if you're going through this lesson, it's because you have a big something coming that's going to be great for you. So yeah, that's so cool. Let's see if there's anything else coming through for you. Pile number 1 in the quartz crystal with the rose image. Photograph. Okay. And I think that that's about it at the moment. I'll just look at the picture. Look, they're saying folding for some reason. There's a folding into life, accepting all. There's a folding into, something to do with that as well. Yeah, I think I'll leave it there though for pile number 1. Yes, pile number 2 was a rhodonite. Hi, Reddy. Good to see you. First time on my channel. Oh, subscribe away. Yeah. And also don't forget, I do intuitive counselling and intuitive readings as well. So the link's down below for that. Good to see you though, Reddy. I might take a couple of questions at the end of this I'm just doing 3 cards, pick a channel message at the moment. And I definitely do questions on Tuesday when I channel. So, and everything is mainly to do with the ascension process, the shift that we're going through, how we can navigate our life through all of this massive change that's going on. Hey, Angel Glitter. Good to see you. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Sky. Good to see you again, Sky. Okay, let's get into the rhodonite. So this is pile 2. Oh, great, Christine. I'm glad you've caught me live as well. Rhodonite. Okay, we'll just see what the picture is. So the image is this one. This comes out of my children's book. So these are all my own artwork and photographs. Let me just feel into pile 2, rhodonite, pile 2. Okay. They are bringing me to this picture, this image. So there is a feeling of being stuck in a maze a bit, almost an unknown quantity within your life, something unknown coming towards you. They're showing me the eclipse now. So there's an unknown something, and it's like you've been traveling the same road or the same path for a while now, and this is unknown quantity through for you to accept. They want you to accept the unknown, because within the unknown is a gem. Something beautiful is going to come up for you too. And I think this is the overall message for many at the moment that are moving through doing the spiritual work. There's this understanding of a different value of life, or a different, no longer like this. There's for some reason they're pulling out this little kid here that's walking over the other side and of this big huge maze, and she's got her head down and she's looking down at her feet. And I'm feeling with you that there's something that you're looking at in your life that you're wanting to fix, but they don't want that you're wanting to change, but they don't want you to fixate in on it, because it's going to keep on taking you round in circles, and you're not going to actually get out of the they're saying mess. I'm just going to say what they're saying of the feeling of the mess that you've progressively got yourself into in the past, and you have a fear that it might happen again, and yet they're saying to you to not to lift your head up and go, you know what, I don't need to watch every little step or every little thing that I'm doing. I'm needing to trust myself more by looking up, because there's this whole big thing here, this unknownness that's wanting to be presented. And most people would go, oh my God, well, I'm scared if I'm going to walk around this, that I'm going to come and trip over this and then fall down into this unknown. They're actually saying, do it, because you will always be caught when you take a guiding leap of faith, trusting that, just looking up, saying to the universe that you trust yourself. So when you look up, you're saying, universe, I trust who I am. I'm no longer having to use my mind only to navigate and pick this one little path that I've got to somehow shift. And you've made it bigger. They're bringing me to, if you have mind, if your mind is, if you try not to think of something, it's absolutely impossible. You cannot stop thinking of something that someone puts in front of you. If I turn around and say, do not think of a monkey, or do not think of an elephant, you will straight away have it in your head. There's the elephant in the room, it's in your head. Instead, they're asking you to shift your attention whenever you have those thoughts in your head of, oh my God, how am I going to get myself out of that? Is that going to happen again? They want you to shift your attention to something completely new, even like throw up another video or something like that. Just keep on shifting your attention. Even if it's in the middle of the night and you wake up and your mind's going a bit whirly, shift your attention to something else. Try to not fixate on something that has happened in the past and you're worried that it's going to happen in the future. Because when you say, I'm going to trust, not thinking about it, I'm going to trust, putting my attention into something completely new, take up another hobby, do something different. I'm going to try to trust that. And that means that the universe outside of you, or your outside reality, goes, oh, she's trusting herself. She's trusting herself to walk towards something that she doesn't even know exists yet. And then, or they don't even know exists yet. Sorry, saying she. And so then you will walk with your head up, and then you will come into this unknown quantity that might feel like, holy crap, I've landed in a place I'm not even used to anymore. But there's something to do with gems or sparks or something, gifts coming, something new coming for you in the unknown. But it's going to feel vulnerable to begin with, because you've never had that sort of thing before. It's kind of like if you've been in a relationship with a whole heap of narcissism, and you go one relationship to another, and then you finally say no more, and I'm going to focus in on my work instead. I'm not going to even focus in on love anymore. I'm just going to focus in on my work. And so you start focusing in on your work, and you just go, I'm letting go of love, because love is going to sort itself out, and I'm going to love myself. And the more I do this work, the more I love myself. And so you start moving towards, you've got your head up now, and the universe is going, she's no longer, or they're no longer fixated in on the fear of tripping up over somebody that's narcissistic. Then this new person comes in, and they are so unknown quantity to you. You're not used to having that vibration around you, because you're used to having the narcissism playing games with you. And so you find yourself starting to play a few games with them just to test them out. And then they're wanting you to realize that this is a gift that's coming. When you take the love back, you'll start to see the gift is within this person, entity. I'm saying entity as in business or whatever, that's coming your way. Something unknown is coming your way that you're not quite used to. So be gentle on yourself. It could be a vulnerable experience that's happening, that's coming in. Okay, so that's number 2 with the rhodonite. Yes. Hey, Cherie. I'm going to start from the beginning and see where I am. Good on you. You're probably not even listening to me, but you'll hear this later on. Okay. So number 3, we have the jasper, and this is your image for the jasper. Please remember to do the thumbs up if you're enjoying this. It helps my channel as well. Okay, number 3. And we've got the rhodonite. We've got the jasper. Okay, we've got jasper. Okay, number 3. So let me tune into those people. Okay, so what I'm getting from this is um, a feeling of uh, logic not being accepted, logic not being accepted in your reality because you're very, like almost like somebody who's mystical and, you know, uh, off with off with their own world and their own imagination, that you know how to use your imagination a lot. There's something to do with this imagination coming into your reality, and you're very good at it. You're really good at sparking that. But that they're saying, for this pile, there's a feeling of needing to ground oneself in a logical manner to be able to find balance as we go through the flow of life. So in things that are logically based or grounded, give it an opportunity. Someone might come up to you and they have like a real logical answer for something, and you're like, yeah, but I think from energy, I think from my imagination. I don't want to follow that. This is, the spark of myself is very feminine orientated. Not to say that you masculine or feminine, but you just using your imagination as a very feminine way of moving through life. And they're saying something to do with allowing logic to infiltrate your life so that you can ground something. Otherwise, it's going to stay in the ether and it's not going to come into this reality until you've accepted it in your logical mind. And the logical mind has been programmed probably since you were young, that if you ever tried to ground something when you were young, your parents would have put you down, made you feel small because it's grounding something that's not yet done in this world and it's unique to you. And that's literally what part of your mission is, to ground this uniqueness. So to do that, we have to make an acceptance within our own mind of it. If I ground this, I might look like that. And then my people like my parents will come at me and tell me that I'm too weird for them or whatever, or what the heck are you even trying to do, or you might get comments or something. But once you accept it in your logical mind as, I am going to embrace this 100%, and I'm going to keep on imagining it being here on earth as this me and my unique self moving through life. But I'm also going to find practical methods to ground it. So there's some sort of grounding that's happening they want you to embrace, because that is the imbalance with this pile. The imbalance is that there's a dream that's up here that's constantly been wished for and wanted and that sort of thing. But now is the time to go, okay, dream, let's become that. And if I have to say I am a specific sort of person, or this is who I am, then so be it. Because they're bringing me to kind of like coming out as your authentic self, and like opening the closet door and going, this is who I am, guys. And no more hiding behind the shadows of convenience for others to make them feel okay, because there's kind of a gentleness around you that stops you from makes you try to fit in too much, and you know how to navigate through that, because that's kind of how you've taught yourself to be able to navigate through your life. But you've overshadowed your own unique self by trying to fit into conditioning or society or people that are around you. And that this is a really good time throughout these eclipses to go, you know what, this is something that's really special to me of who I am, and I'm no longer going to hide it. I'm just going to say it as it is in my own head of who I am, and see where the cards may fall. And they also are saying that there's something that you're trying to bring in or ground into the world, and this is actually going to help you ground this into the world, because you're now finding balance of acceptance within your own self of, I'm no longer going to listen to the negative Nelly thoughts within my mind telling me that I'm wishy-washy, that I'm airy-fairy, that I'm, I should never even think like that, that'll never happen. People will pick on you, all that sort of thing. No longer listening to those thoughts, and you're saying no to that story, and then filling this logic up with, I am specifically here for a mission to be completely uniquely me. This is me in my unique self, and I'm going to shine this light no matter what. This is so important for me to be completely different. And I trust this, and I trust this process. So we're switching that, they're asking you to switch up your logical mind. And then what's going to happen is you're going to find threads or paths coming your way that are more practical in who you are and stepping forward. And so it's kind of like a real, this whole energy with the eclipse is a real shift, a real big shift. And at the moment, and it's because this is pushing us to be uniquely us. And some of us are so different in comparison to the rest. So, but we were meant to be that way. We wouldn't be here in this skin. We wouldn't be alive unless we were meant to be that. We wouldn't think this way unless we were meant to be that. And there's no more hiding. If you want to say that you come from like another planet, or you come from the elementals, and you were a witch life after life or whatever, and you can feel it in the core of yourself, and stand up and be proud about it. It's so interesting. They're saying there's so much that's shifted in humanity's consciousness about finally accepting, we're allowed to speak up being a female, speak up being a different colored skin, speak up, and now and speak up being different sexual identity to our body. But now they're saying now it's time for us to speak up and say what we really feel our soul our soul's journey has gone on. And if you can remember or feel that you were something in the past, an acceptance of that is going to almost pop the thread of many different ancestors and so forth down the line. So you accepting and shining that light, they all of a sudden become free, because the next life that they have, when they see you do that, next life that they come into being a human in the human body, they can now be themselves as well, because they saw you do it, so they can do it in their next life. So you're literally freeing ancestors by being uniquely you, and that because they were hiding themselves, which ended up making their outside reality attack them, because they weren't embracing their whole self and who they were. So you're actually shifting a lot more than what you think. Wow, I didn't expect that to come from that card. That's interesting. So they are my 3 cards. If you want to go back and play that little game of ours with pick a channel message, and I'll see if anything else comes up. And if there is a couple of questions, I don't mind answering a couple of questions from the chat bar. Since we've got time, let's don't get too personal. I mean, you can get a bit personal, but I'll still pick and choose which ones I feel I can gravitate towards. And don't get disheartened if I don't choose you. I don't mean to. Okay. What else? Let's see what else I can bring up while we're here on this live. So we also have, look at this. I wrote something down yesterday. I'll say this while we're waiting for the questions to come through. This makes sense now. Logic wants to contain everything. It wants to be able to shelf things so it can be saved and even sold. So that's what logic loves. And that's how whole society has been pretty much grown out of logic. So we're always seeing what we can save, what we can contain, what we can shelf, what we can sell, and we compartmentalize everything. But your unique story cannot be contained, as it is like a fingerprint that is forever changing. Therefore, one mold may not fit another person's mold. This is where our education has gone wrong, as it is logically run. But if intuition was also folded into teaching and living in the moment, we would be able to cater for all to be taught, not just those that fit into the logical learning program. So I wrote that down as a channel message, October's channel message, yesterday. So yeah, it makes sense. This is the energy that we're in at the moment with this eclipse that's happening. So yeah. How does math numbering systems work in higher dimensions? Ooh, that's an interesting question. How does math numbering systems work in the higher dimensions? Okay, so they're bringing me to patterns, somatics, understanding not just like there definitely is there numbers. Numbers are one thing that our reality, being human here on earth, 0 through to 9, numbers, something that's folded us into this concept of this reality. In other dimensions, they more work with patterns, somatics, changing frequencies, and it's a lot. It's like they're showing me numbers, but they're showing me also in between the numbers. There's something more understanding of all these frequencies and a shift in changing reality through one's observational perspective of their life. It's but so numbers, it can be broken. They're saying it can be broken down into numbers and still mathematically equated. And it does depend on the person's love for numbers and a higher benevolence if they want to go down that way. But it's kind of like, how can I put it? Taking kind of like if caveman were drawing on a caveman wall with a stick and a something next to someone who could do an oil painting, that sort of thing. And it's not to say that you couldn't be alive and go, man, I really, really love these caveman drawings. I want to even learn even more about them and all of that sort of thing. And there might be something even more in depth that they go into with the numbers that will find more truth and value for themselves as they move through their benevolent life. But there is more color. There's more something. And it's literally hard to describe because it's going into different dimensional aspects. And so we're not just catering for the three-dimensional aspect of living here with the numbers 0 through to 9. They are saying we're catering for a lot more scope, light, fractionism and of light, as well as sound, as well as vibrational meat of creating there's something to do with that, and it's to do with the patterns. But the thing is, they're saying that being human, there's to embrace the fact that we use numbers. It can also, if you get into it in great depth, you could find out many more secrets and mysteries of life just through those 9 numbers, those 10 numbers actually, 0 through to 9. 0 being the stillness of all anyway, but there's an indication of, yeah, there's more. Anyway, that's all I could really say about that topic at the moment. I'm trying to understand where they're coming from as well. So remember, it's kind of like if someone tells you something, if you don't have full understanding, they're giving it to me through feelings. So I can kind of understand through this feeling, but to actually bring it into words, sometimes it can get a little tricky. I'm hoping that I at least gave you a little bit more scope on their way of understanding life and maths and all that sort of thing. But it does go beyond the compartmentalized just figures and numbers. They see into more into a fractional, and there's a lot more to it. And there are people that do study that sort of thing in higher benevolence. Acrturians are very good at it. Yeah, anyway. Thanks, Justin. Okay. Anything happening to me in the next month? Angel. I can tap in. Take care, they're saying. Take care of yourself. Nurture yourself. There's something about nurturing yourself because you've giving your energy away too much. Just bring it back to central of yourself is more important, because you'll find that when you're nurturing yourself, you're actually going to help a lot more people than what you thought to begin with. This is a little snippet of a reading. Sherry, I felt a big spiritual release on Monday night. Did something happen on Earth? Oh, there's so much happening at the moment, Sherry. The big spiritual release on Monday night. There is a collective that's coming up, and you're part of that collective that's shedding. Shedding. It's kind of like a weight off your shoulders of something. And it's kind of like coming into alignment with you, and even more of others that are resonating with you. And it's like it's kind of what they're showing me, and this actually comes up in my Spark a Life video, but I'm going to share it anyway. They keep showing me this tuning fork, and there's you, and there's like all these people spread around the earth, and then you're all resonating in the same frequency. And once one of you has a massive lesson, they might have even gone through an absolute horrible sort of situation where they've just gone out of it, and they've just completely released all of the blockages around your beautiful vibration. And then it's like their tuning fork frees itself, and then because they've just gone, I give up. And sometimes it's when we give up that we end up finding the solution. And then because they've cleared, you cleared. You felt a release as well. So anyone that's in that vibrational meet clears as well. So there's that can happen, and that's what they're showing me has happened. So it's not like everyone on earth has gone through the same thing, but there are certain vibrational meets that you have, that they had, that cleared you, that help. And then you might go through something, and then you clear something, and then you kind of vibrate at a certain clearing. And this is how we awaken each other. So we're ping-ponging against off each other to get to where we need to go. Okay. Are we on group 3 or finished? Oh no, we're finished, Flower. Sorry. I did about 10 minutes on each group, and then we had some time. So I've been asking questions in the chat bar. And I think that's a good idea, because it gives you guys some freedom to to work with me a bit more as well. And I don't mind doing that. Thank you so much. I resonate with what I need to nurture myself, Angel. Yeah, good. Great. Any messages from Sarah? Any messages from the galactic center on the Sagittarius, a black hole? On the center, sorry, galactic center or the Sagittarius, a black hole. Interesting that you're bringing that up, Sarah, because I've been getting messages about black hole, and that's what I'm folding into this next video as well. So there's some really profound messages coming through that are starting to break into humanity's consciousness about the spark of life and the black holes, the stars, source energy, the relevance of all creating this reality. So there's something big things starting to come through me anyway that I'm going to fold into this next message, this next video. So look out for the next video, Sarah, because but there is some understandings of who we are from the spark of life, and that's why I've called it the spark of life, and understanding more about the whole picture. Yeah, so I think that's all I'll say on that subject, because I want to bring that up properly in this video. Yeah, and get that right. Okay. Sheree, yes, thank you. It was a long night. So you might have been, Sheree, you might have been helping them as well. It's interesting because when we resonate with certain vibrations, say for instance, there's this whole group of souls that come from one soul connection. Like they show me a web of souls that know each other very well, and then they all decide to be born on Earth, and so they're born here, not all together, because they want to actually help Earth with the all over the world, and then those souls are going to awaken in their own time. So they could all come from a certain planet, they could all come from a certain dimension, they could all have had similar journeys through their soul's line that they've gone through, so they know each other very well, that sort of thing. And also at the moment there's this opening of understanding the soul more. And when we really do get that picture, we then understand what God is in the bigger picture, because soul is God, is love, is so it's all same. It's just love going on a journey in a physical form that's a denser form, so we can have a separated reality. But to really understand that, to really, like, you can speak all this, but if you really understood it, there's something different happening with humanity's consciousness, almost like we're going through this is quite weird. If you've ever heard of the term ayahuasca, an ayahuasca journey, go look that up. It's quite hard to spell though. Where two plants are merged together as medicine to give to allow it to be absorbed into the body, and then it allows DMT to be released. And it's almost like humanity's consciousness is going through this great awakening of like going through an ayahuasca journey. And so we meet up with all of that we hate and we fear and we're in anguish and all of that. And then we start to realize that the anguish was within our own self of not including parts of ourselves as our unique self. And so then we start to learn to love those little bits, and as those little bits are loved, we start to release a lot more. But we're also learning what the soul is, where it's come from, and a lot more about our whole reality at the moment. So yeah, it's kind of beautiful what's happening, but it's kind of scary at the same time, because they actually, in the ayahuasca drips, they actually purge a lot. They spew a lot. I've never had one. I've never done one. And they see a lot of somatic patterns. they become one with earth, but they also, if they have a lot to fear, then a lot of fear comes and faces them off. And then there's a great big release at the end of it, because they start to recognize it was their own self and their own inner journey that's created the path that they're now walking. So that if you take that as your own reins, then you can take it back, then you can shift it. Yeah, I'm glad I'm doing the pick a card readings, but I'm glad that we've got some time to actually channel through this information too. I think I'm just going to have to let this all go with the flow and see what happens week to week. It might be a little different every week, but that's okay. We'll just go with this. Okay. Let's leave it at that. I'm going to have to take my daughter to the train station soon. Don't forget, I am live on Tuesdays as well. And I have a big video coming up. I'm going to produce a lot more shorts. I'm putting my advert into a short. So if you see my advert being published again, which is really tiny because I've made it into a short format to go, you know how shorts are really narrow. You've probably seen that advert before, but I'm actually doing it to flip it into the shorts. I'm just going to keep on pushing everything out there, see what happens out of all this. If it's not supposed to go anywhere, it's not supposed to. If it is, then it is. And I'm just letting it go because my life's pretty awesome anyway. I love my life so much at the moment. I'm very, very lucky. Okay. Love you guys. Bye.